conference will now be recorded.
Um, and we have seen what is the process to send data from our SAP system to another SAP system. And we had a requirement like we need to send bank data from our SAP ERP system, which is India, to another SAP ERP system, which is US. And for this requirement, what we have done, so we have seen what are the ABAPer tasks. And we have also discussed about what basis consultants do and what functional people do as part of this requirement. And we are more focused on ABAPer roles. So what ABAPer will do, he will create segments and he will create IDOC and then he will create message type. After that, he will attach message type and IDOC. After that, he will write a code to send this bank information from one system to another system using function module master IDOC distribute. So yesterday we have created a segment and IDOC, as well as we have created message type and we assigned message type to IDOC. And today we are going to see how do we send data using function module master IDOC distribute. So as we said yesterday session, so master IDOC distribute, there are two main parameters, EDIDC, EDIDD, as well as EDIDS. So we have three internal tables. So one internal table which is contain control information, EDIDC means which is a controls data. So what is this control information means? Who is the sender? Who is the receiver? That information which is we have to provide to the master DAC distribute and data. So we are sending bank information, right? So this bank data we have to provide to the table EDIDD. And then, so what master DAC distribute function model it will do. So by using this control state data, it will send information to receiver system. During the transmission, if any error occurred or a successfully it was transferred information, then that status information will be given to EDIDS. So EDIDS is a table where it stores messages regarding the IDOC which is successfully created and send the data, or is there any issue occurred, that information will be stored by EDIDS. So we will see how do we use master DAC distribute to send the bank information from our SAP system. So let me log in into remote desktop. So execute transaction SE38 to create a program. So for time being, I have already created a program. So we will use that to send bank information. So this is our program. In this program, you can see we are using a function module called master IDOC distribute. So this is a executable program, and this executable program have input screen where you can provide bank country and bank key information and the message type logical system details as the input. Let's say if you wanted to send banks which are created for country India from our SAP system, you can enter country India and then provide your message type. So whatever the message type you have created for the bank previously, you have to provide this message type so that your data will be sent using master IDOC distribute function model. If you go to this function model, what we are passing to this function model is control record information. Exporting means input. So we were sending control record information, which is nothing but EDA-DC. It is a control information. And in the tables, you can see EDA-DD. So EDA-DD is nothing but your data. So from SAP ERP, what are the data you wanted to send? So that data you need to fill into this EDA-DD. And what system will do once it was sent, and then the IDOC which is generated, so which will be given to in the communication IDOC tab. And during the communication, if any error occurred, and that will be given as a SysAB-RC result. And if you see this master IDOC distribute inside, this control record, which is nothing but EDA-DC. EDA-DC is nothing but which is carrying control record information. So who is the sender and who is the receiver, partner? So which contains the details of the sender receiver information. This sender receiver details you will receive from the basis and functional consultants, because basis is going to establish the connection and functional is going to create the distribution model and partner profile configuration. So they will provide these details. Once you have that details, you have to fill this control record information so that your master IDOC distribute will send your data to receiver system. And then if you go to the tables, we have EDA-DD. So EDA-DD is nothing but data records. So whatever the data you wanted to send, first you have to fill your segment, because first we need to fill the segment and then it has to be attached to the IDOC. So you need to fill segment, what segment information you wanted to send. So you need to add segment and the data. So data has to be provided in SData field. So EDA-DD carries segment information and that segment related data information. So you need to fill EDA-DD with the segment and data. EDA-DC will fill with your control record information. And during the transport, any issue happen, it will be given a status information. So now we need to see how this control information and data information we are going to fill. So let's copy this. If you see here, so control information is nothing but which is EDA-DC. So control record information, what we are filling. So we will be filling with the message type, what we have created, and the IDOC, what is the IDOC which we have created to transfer the data yesterday. And then we have to provide a receiver port and partner profile details. So this receiver port and a partner function port details will be provided by functional and basis. So once they given the details, can use it in the control record information. So what is this port? If you copy this port, whatever we see now, so go to transaction FWE21. So click on transaction RFC. So this port will be created by functional consultant. So, and then if you go here, this is a port which is created. And if you see, this port is having a RFC destination. So this RFC details will be given by basis consultant. So whenever you wanted to send data from one system to another system, the system connection will be created by basis consultants, and then that RFC is nothing but remote function call, which is created by basis SM59 transaction. Through SM59 transaction, they will create that. So if I go for destination RFC, so this is our RFC. So this RFC was created by basis. So what RFC usually have? Connection with the other system. So in the logon and security. So right now we are in 800 client. So one of the connection was created by basis to connect with 812 system. So client 812 system will be connected with this connection. So here, as I said, SAP ERP India server. So you can assume SAP ERP India server having client 800, whereas SAP ERP US server is having client 812. So now from 800 system, you are connecting to 812 system via RFC. So this RFC connection functional basis they will create. Once after this is happening, this connection details will be provided functionals. So functional consultant, he will create the RFC. With the help of RFC, he will create the port. Once this port creation is done, what he will do is he'll go to W20 partner profile, and in the partner type LS, so he'll create a partner. So that partner also we have in the program. So this is port. So partner is WMS. So search for WMS. So we have here WMS, and once RFC created, basis work is done, and then functional, he will create the port. And once port creation is completed, with the help of that port, he will create a partner profile functional. So in the partner profile, here we are sending data from 800 to 812 system. So when you are sending, right, so the direction is called outbound. For every IDOC, ILE technology, there are two ways, like you are sending data, which means outbound, and you are receiving data from other system, that is called inbound. So here in our case, we were sending data from our SAP system. So when you are sending the message type, whatever you have created, by using that functional consultant, he will create a partner profile in W20 transaction, and you are sending data, right? So you will maintain your message type inside this outbound parameter. If I double click this, so this is the partner profile configuration. So he created a partner WMS, and inside the partner he maintained message type whatever we created, and the port also, the port whatever he created, he mentioned over here. And so that IDOC, whatever the IDOC we have created, so IDOC also mentioned here. So the mode here, transfer IDOC immediately. That means whenever this configuration is triggered, immediately IDOC will be sent. So how this configuration will be triggered? The partner will be called, WMS will be called through your control record. So this control record information you will be giving to the master data distribute. Now master data distribute, what it does, when you execute, it will call this partner profile WMS, and with the help of a port and the message type IDOC what we have given over there, by using that it will connect with the 812 system and data will be transferred. So that is what the control record information related information. So this is the control record. So control record we have to fill with the message type and the IDOC what we have used along with the configuration setup, whatever it is done by the functional and basis. So with this information, now system is able to connect and transfer the data, but you have to send data information. So control record in controls only system details, but the data you have to fill in table EDIDD. So copy this and search how we are filling EDIDD. So this EDIDD basically has two main parameters. One is segment and another one is data. So always you have to provide segment name and data information inside this EDIDD table. So if you see this segment name is nothing but in W31 transaction, what we have created, right? So that is what the segment. So if you go to W31, so we have created a segment to send the bank information, maybe a different one, that's fine. So segment is nothing but what are all the fields we wanted to send from BNKA bank table. So that fields it will carry. So segment creation will be happen through W31. And once creation is done, you have to release your segment. Note down this. So this is our segment and segment data as well as data information. Data information we have to provide. So data information, how we were giving to this EDIDD table, let's search here and see. So if you look at here, what is the data we were sending to the SData EDIDD table? We were sending bank key and bank name information. So bank key and bank name information only we were giving to this EDIDD table, so that this bank data, bank key and bank ID information, name information will be transferred to other system. So if you look at IT bank, so where we are getting this bank information is pulled from the table BNKA. So we are getting data from BNKA table and we were moving that information into internal table. So here what is the check? Where bank key equal to user entered value, country, bank country and bank key information. So once, let me place a breakpoint here. Okay, let me keep here. So execute. So I wanted to send bank details which are belongs to country India. So first go and check how many entries are there for country India. So you need to check BNKA table. So provide India and execute. So we have 100 records are available for country India. So I wanted to send all this information to other system. So when you wanted to send all this information to other system, you need to provide your message type details and the country information. After that, execute. So now click on F8. So now you can see it is first what we are doing based on the value which is we entered in the selection screen, bank country. Based on the bank country, we are getting data from table BNKA into our database internal table IT BNK. So when you execute, you can see how many entries are there. 126 entries are there. So just check with the table. So in table, how many entries? We have only 100 entries, but from where 126? Oh, I don't know. Okay, so now you can see 126 entries are there. So this 126 entries, we also found from the BNK table in our program. So now this 126 entries has to be sent via IDOC. So all data will not be sent through one IDOC. Each and every record will be sent with a different IDOC. So how many IDOCs will generate is 126 IDOCs will be generated after you process. Each record has one IDOC. Now click on F6, and then what we are filling. So we will be filling main parameters in master data distribute, that is control information and EDIDD in data information. So now control record information. So control records which contains message type and IDOC and the receiver port information and who is the partner and partner related port details. So now control record information was filled with the data of port and partner information, which is given by basis and functional. Once you fill with the control record, now what you are doing, you are checking looping internal table to fill bank information in your segment as well as to trigger the IDOC. So now you are looping internal table IT bank, and once you have the bank data, now this bank information, bank country and bank key information, you will be passing one by one record to your EDIDD table. So your EDIDD table, first you are filling with this segment. So what segment it carries, and next you are filling EDIDD with the S data. So S data is one parameter. So in EDIDD you have two things. One is segment name. This is the segment name. Segment name and data. So you have to fill your EDIDD with the segment name and that segment related what is the data you are sending. These two are important for EDIDD. So EDIDD is an internal table. Once you have added, execute and then append the data. So now one record was added. So after that, you are calling master data distribute function module. So now the data is sending from one server to another server. So now click on F6. So once you click on F6, you can see SISABAR success, which means data has been sent successfully, and communication record. So communication IDOC tab, you can see there is a IDOC which is triggered, and this IDOC status is 30. And this is the port IDOC was used to send information, and direction is 1. Direction 1 means outbound. You are sending from our system. After that, so we were just collecting the IDOCs, how many IDOCs are generated. We created one local variable for the count purpose. So this is first time. So total master IDOC is filled with one information. And then based on the communication IDOC, so how many IDOCs are generated? Only one IDOC. So we will be filling what is the IDOC which is generated to display in the output. So how many times this loop will trigger? This loop will trigger 126. So because 126 records are there, so 126 IDOCs will be generated. So I'll be executing directly. So now you can see total 126 IDOCs are generated, and each IDOC information you can see here. This is the IDOC which is generated, and it carries information, bank country and bank key information. And you can see here total number of IDOCs were generated is 126. And now if you see one IDOC, copy one IDOC. Now go to transaction WE05. So remember this T code. WE05 is a T code where we can check the status of IDOC triggered. Now go to here and provide your IDOC number and execute. So here three main things you can see in IDOC. Control record, data record, status record. Control record carries who is the sender, who is the receiver, and what is the IDOC, and what is the message type. Technical details of the system, sender and receiver system information. And then data records. Data records carries what is the segment and what is the data we have transmitted from our system. So we have used this segment and this is the data we have transmitted from our SAP system. And status records. So status records which contains what is the status, where is the IDOC. So basically these status are divided into two blocks. So we have status from 0 to 75. So in 0 to 75, if you see a status message in between 0 to 30. So 0 to 30, whatever the message it will generate saying that outbound IDOC related information. Outbound IDOC means you are sending data from SAP system to other SAP system. So during the transmission, if anything happen, status will be coming between 0 to 30. So when you see any status between 0 to 30, you can say the IDOC is in sender side, our side. IDOC is in our side. So which is send information. During that, if any process, any issues or success, failure, anything, which will fill with the 0 to 30. And after that, if receiver side, so receiver side any issue happened, it will be recorded between 31 to 75. So if you see a status between 31 to 75, you can say that is other area, a receiver side issue. So now you can see the status, what you see here is 30. So 30 is outbound, so our side. So what it is saying, 30 meaning is, so 30 is what saying IDOC ready for dispatch. So which means you have sent IDOC from our system and it was successfully data also transferred. And now it is at ALE service at the top layer level. It is ready to taken by the other side system. So if other side system has a configuration, then other side system, it automatically receive and status will be changed from 30 to other status 60. So the status right now it is 30 because we don't have others another system where it has the configuration. So just now we transmitted and it is at the last stage where the data is available. So other systems, if the configuration is there, then they can ready to receive the information. So in this way, we can send our information through programmatically. So if anybody wants information from our system, what ABAPer has to do, he has to create a segment for the table, what they need to send that information, and then create IDOC, and then message type to IDOC, and use master IDOC distribute. So that data will be sent from one system to another system. And this ALE IDOCs is a cross application. This is not a basic ABAP, it's a intermediate ABAP, okay? And now, if in case during the data transfer, there is an issue occurred. So when is there any issue occurred, how can we know what is the issue? How can we correct it? The issue and how can we resend again? So let's say we will not pass this receiver port information. Let me comment this. So now system don't know whom to send information. So now execute, and I'll provide one single key instead of multiple. From BNKA table, we go to the BNKA, and I'll provide single information, single key. So I'll take this one, and country is India, and bank key. So I wanted to send only this bank. Execute. Now F8. So you can see one IDOC was generated. So this is your IDOC number. So copy this IDOC number. Now go to status transaction WE05 IDOC status and enter your IDOC number here and execute. So if you see here, the status is 29 and it is error. So what 29 status is saying? Error in ALE service. So there is a error occurred. So what is the error? Go to the status record and drag this. You can see the error related information. So it is saying that error, no partner profile found. So partner profile information is missing while sending the data. So where this partner profile information is there? In the partner. So if we go to the control record, so here you can see partner tab. So in the partner profile, we don't have the partner details. So that's where it is ended up with an error. So you are sending information, but there is no partner. Partner means receiver system details. So receiver system details are not provided. That's where system is unable to send the information. So how can we correct this and again reprocess the IDOC? So to correct the information, you need to double click here and then control record change mode. So go to the change mode. So why it is locked? Okay, we are in here, coming out from this program. And now try to change it, control record, change. And then go to the partner tab. So whatever the data is missed, so that information give it manually. So receiver port and partner information. So receiver port and partner information. Partner is WMS. So WMS is your partner. And then click on save. So now data was updated, right? So how can you rerun this T code, rerun this IDOC number? So copy your IDOC. Now go back. So now you can see in the control record, partner details are there. So now you need to rerun this IDOC. To rerun this IDOC, you have to use transaction code BD64. No, not BD64, BD84. Let's check BD84. Yeah, you have to use a BD84 to reprocess the IDOC, error IDOC. So enter your IDOC, which is error. I think already it was processed or what? W05. So enter your IDOC, execute. So now it has been status. So automatically when you change the control record information, I think which is automatically triggered the correction program. Go to details. So what I'll do is I'll again remove this control record information. Display or change. So remove this and save it. So now execute. Still in 20. Okay, we have to change it back to 29. Okay, leave it. So normally when you have an issue with the IDOC, you can go directly and see the message and correct it from directly through a W05. So sometimes there are some IDOCs which are having errors that is not able to understand what is exact issue with the IDOC. So if I consider any IDOC with the status 29 and basic type is nothing but IDOC. So I'll see any IDOC. Cremas is vendor related. No IDOCs. Okay, let me remove and execute. So remove the date. With status 29, I wanted to see an error IDOC. So these T codes are important. So you need to remember. So whenever you keep on practice, you usually get it in your mind. So if I see this cremas related, so vendor related information went to error. Why this is error occurred? So go to here. So again the same reason, partner profile is missing. So inside this, so if you go to the control record, partner tab, so port details are not there for the partner number. So that's where there is a issue occurred. So some messages are clear, but some messages, I don't know what is this error and object type. So if you see this, this is a different message. Object type not maintained for message type matmas. So I don't know why this error is occurred. What is the reason behind this? So I wanted to know the source code where this error is occurring. So in that case, copy this message number and then go to BD64 transaction and enter this IDOC, which is error 14079, not BD64, BD, enter BD84 and enter this IDOC, which is error 14079 and execute 14079. What is this transaction? BD84 or BD87? Select IDOC. Let me select here BD87 14079 and execute. So BD87, not BD64 or BD84. The transaction code is BD87 to reprocess the IDOCs, error IDOCs. And then select your IDOC. And then try execute this one. Before that, get into debugger, execute. And in the breakpoints, we have a breakpoint at message statement. And here you already copied message, right? So B1 is message class and the number is 0 to 4. So you just enter this message class and number and execute. Okay, so this is not triggering. 1 second, let me check this T codes already. Always it is a confusing. ALE IDOCS, where is this? W is 2140. Okay, fine. We don't have error handling there. BD87. We don't have in PPT. Okay, fine. We search in Google. Outbound IDOC error. Okay. T code SAP. W19. Okay, so this is inbound IDOC. And one more T code also, BD87. So it is BD87. I think we executed BD87, right? So /n BD87. So this is the BD87 and IDOC number 14079. 14079. Execute. Okay, I think we haven't executed BD87 or executed, I don't know. Okay. So this is the IDOC which is encountered with error. So to know what is happened, why this error is occurred, so you can place a breakpoint here and then go into the system and then debug and see wherever the messages will appear. So breakpoint at the statement message. So when you write and execute, so wherever the messages will trigger, you can see the message details and the root cause before to this message triggering. What is occurred, why this error is triggered, and what logic is failed to trigger this message, those details you will find out. So in this way, we can do the error analysis using the BD87 transaction. So BD87 transaction is used to do the error analysis for the IDOCs. Sometimes we may not have the direct message, proper message. In that case, in the debug mode, we will see what is the code where this message is getting triggered. Based on that, we will do our analysis. So BD87, which is used to for the error analysis. And this analysis we can do for both IDOCs. So there are two types of IDOCs, outbound IDOC, inbound IDOC. So outbound IDOC is nothing but when you are sending information from this system to another system, whatever the IDOC is generated, so that is called outbound IDOC. You are sending information. Sometimes what will happen, you will be receiving the data. So in this example only, 800 is the sender and 812 is receiver. So from 812 to 812 point of view, 812 is getting inbound IDOC. So 812 standpoint, when you look at 812 is receiving the data. So when you are receiving, that direction is called inbound. So there are only two directions, either outbound or inbound. So if inbound level is there any issue occurred, then how we can handle that errors is by using transaction WE19, we can handle with the inbound errors. So let's take one inbound IDOC. So go to W05, enter direction. So what is the direction for inbound? 2. And then um, basic type, which is nothing but IDOC. So I will be giving mat mask. This is a standard one, 05. Let's check, is there any IDOCs? No. Remove this and execute and see. We may have some IDOCs. Let's see. So all are success, and status, if you see 53, as I said, if you see status after 30 and between that 75, those means those are inbound related statuses. And we don't have any error. Okay, fine. So let me take this one. So if, for example, this is ended up with an error, so in that case, what we will do, we will consider this IDOC number and we'll go to the W19 transaction and we will provide the IDOC what is went an error state. So 687775. So 687775. So if it is encountered with error, so we wanted to know what is the root cause behind the error. We will execute with that IDOC. And then you can go to here inbound function module and not inbound, standard inbound. So you go to here standard inbound. Already this IDOC has a partner profile. Inside that partner profile, there will be a function module. So you need to double click on this function module and place a breakpoint here and run your W19 transaction so that it will take you inside the code. And when you are inside application, you can do your own analysis. So here, place a breakpoint and execute. And standard inbound. Okay, continue. So there will be one more IDOC was generated and it will take you because there is some error. Recipient port is invalid. There are some issues in the configuration, that's why it is not triggered. But basically, this is what the process. So W19 transaction is used to process error IDOCs of inbound, and BD87 is used to process error IDOCs of outbound. And IDOC status will be seen in transaction WE05. And IDOC will be triggered by using function module master IDOC distribute. So when you wanted to send, when you need to send the data, whenever you have a requirement to send one system to another system. So there are configuration setup is required when before you are sending data. So this is all about ALE IDOCs. So actually it's a very lengthy concept, but for us, only a basic understanding is sufficient. Any doubts so far?
Hello, sir. Can you create some other example line by line? It will be more easy to understand.
So this is not understand.
Yes, I understood, but I mean, line by line will be more convenient, I think.
Yes, so that is why I was asking you to place breakpoint and then check line by line in the debug. If I write the code also, it will be like this only. You will not understand our. I know the flow. I can go and write line by line code. But for your case, you will not understand. Again, the same thing. So your understanding will become more when you place a breakpoint and execute in the debug mode line by line, then you will understand.
Okay, sir.
Try from your side once, and still
Yes.
if you have any questions, then we will go with another example. No issue. But my point of view, only thing is, as I know the flow, I can write the code line by line. But when you are looking, you may not understand or follow that flow because you don't have a end-to-end clarity. So when you place a breakpoint and execute and check the code line by line, you will get understand more. Anyway,
Okay.
first check this and then we will see in coming classes with one more scenario. You come with a different scenario. So this is a bank scenario, right? So you come from a different scenario so that we will execute that scenario with the same program.
Yes.
Okay. See you tomorrow. Bye.